This segment is one of my most favorite things to talk about, and actually it is a program that I work with my clients on as often as possible. It is about being the event. There are so many things to be said in this segment. So in the beginning of what we're talking about here with what would you ask if you knew what I know? Or what would be the important things if I could tell you what I know after years and years, 15 plus years of being in the public eye, thousands of events that I've gone to, that I've hosted, that I've spoken at, that I've sat in, that I've participated with, tens of thousands of people, including the 10,000 people around the world that were on my team when I was in network marketing, the 131 that I recruited, that I personally recruited. Now, I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you. You know, they say that every person in network marketing, if you're a network marketer, if you've ever studied it, they say that every human being can bring in at least 2 people into the network marketing industry. And I am here to tell you that is not true. At least it wasn't in my 5 years of experience. If you do the example of the penny that multiplies every day for 31 days and turns into over $10 million, if you look at that example, if every person could bring in 2 people, the whole planet would be in network marketing within 2 months. It's just not the case. They can't. And so, for me to have brought in 131 people personally was quite the feat. And one of the ways that I did that was with the mindset, the association that we've already talked about, and most importantly, being the event. So it's good for recruiting. Another thing about being the event is also from the perspective of doing fundraisers, or from doing a community awareness, or if you're wanting to be a speaker and be heard and get your message out there, if you're wanting to attract clients that, if you're wanting to attract the clients as opposed to chasing them, being the event is so powerful. So being the event can take on a few different forms. First of all, when we go to someone else's event, we can be the event from the perspective of when we've had a mindset shift, and when we walk into that room, we feel good in our skin, we feel comfortable, we feel confident, we know that that which we have is what our clients need, want, deserve. When we have that type of a posture, just going into an event, we are being the event in the situation where people can receive us as that professional that they are needing. But to take being the event to an even bigger level, there is a big difference in sitting in the room with people and mingling and handing out cards and talking to people and following up, etc., etc. That's a great place to start. And as a matter of fact, that's where we have to start. That's where I started a long time ago. But it became really clear to me that when I could be the event, be the speaker, be the one that people were listening to as the expert in whatever topic that is for you or for me, when we are the expert, when we are the edified expert, and if you don't know what edified means, I certainly didn't. I've looked it up online, and I'm not even sure if it shows up in a dictionary, but to edify someone simply means to raise them up, to raise them up in the eyes of another, to raise them up in the eyes of another. Whether we are talking highly about someone that we're going to introduce someone to, or whether someone is talking highly about us, putting us on a stage and introducing us to dozens or hundreds or thousands of people. We are in an edified position of authority, of expertise, and people will see you differently. They will receive you differently. They will treat you differently. They will, it's almost like when you are, if you were to meet a celebrity, you can see how people's posture and demeanor and their eyes change when they meet somebody that's been a little elevated in their eyes. I've seen it thousands of times in network marketing, one of the things that we did was we would talk very highly about an individual, total, sincere, authentic love and respect for that person. We would talk very highly about them and then bring that person that we were talking to about them over to meet them, and that person would be just starry-eyed and excited and, oh, you're going to introduce me? Really? I'm so honored. And that's exactly the way we should be in life all the time. Shouldn't we be raising people up? Shouldn't we be talking highly about people that we do business with, people that we want to refer? As a matter of fact, I share that with my clients all the time. When you're going to introduce two people because you think this person should be referred, introduced, there's a level of, oh, hey, Bob, here's Mary's number, you should call her. You know, or, hey, Bob, I told Mary to call you, she's going to call you sometime. There's a difference in that versus sending an email to both of them, or Facebook, or at a live-to-live event, and saying something really nice about each of them so that they are excited to work together. So when we be the event, I'm going to start with being a speaker, just so that we can go into the different segments of what it looks like to be the event. So for example, what I would do when I would get to a new area and I didn't know anyone, and I was in recruitment mode, or hey, I need to go out in network mode, there's a level of going to the fish bowls, going to the local fish bowls and hanging out at Chamber of Commerce or the other groups, the entrepreneur groups, the meetup groups, and being in the room, and that's better than sitting at home. However, I would actually contact all those groups with the right language, the right wording, even more importantly, the right how to use those words and who to be, the right posturing, and I would let them know, hey, listen, I'd love to come share with your group how to network better. In my case, it was about networking. In your case, it could be about financial responsibility. It could be about a first-time homebuyer seminar. It could be teaching people how to use better lighting and photography equipment. It could be about doing makeup application. It could be whatever that is for you. It could be talking about the Make-A-Wish Foundation or something that you're passionate about, or global warming. But just go with me on this. So I would talk to them about, hey, I can come teach your people about networking. Because of the way I knew how to present the package of the product, which in this case was myself, I would get in front of rooms of 30 or 50 or 100 other people's groups. So I could have walked in there and just hung out and exchanged business cards and followed up with people, and I did that, and I've done that, and I do that thousands of times. However, I am very clear that when I walk in there as the edified expert, at the end of that event, people will come up and they will bring me their card, and they will come over and want to shake my hand. And I am attracting by who I'm being, by who they see me as. Isn't it true that perception is reality? How are people perceiving you? Are they perceiving you as just another bozo on the bus? Are they perceiving you as a powerful example that they would like to follow, or they would like to employ, or they would like to strategize with? So when you can get on a stage and share with people in 20 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and a half, whatever that looks like, a little bit about what you do, how you do it, why you do it, who you do it for, tips of how to do it better. Anytime you can do something better, faster, smarter than someone else, shorten their learning curve so that they're not taking years and years to figure it out, and maybe you can show them in a few months or a few sessions or whatever that is. You're a consultant, you're a coach, you have something to teach and train, and you should be getting paid for it. So when I do these events, even when they're free, and they are free in the beginning when you start doing these types of events, when you're doing these free events, it attracts the people that would want to do business with you. Be the event, be it. Be on that stage. Another thing about being the event is this. when you create, let's call it a fundraiser. It could be a fundraiser, it could be a party, it could be a community awareness activity, it could be an auction. It could be an auction. I've done those before too. So for example, one of the things that I've done in the past is antique car shows. So with the antique car show, I had a 64.5 Mustang, and because I had that car, I ended up doing an antique car show for a local place that turned into doing it for 7 years in a row. Turns out now I'm an expert at coordinating antique car shows. But back in the day, when I was doing my antique car show, the thing about having a venue, an event that is a few months out, now we have several months that we can use that event as a way to market, promote, position ourselves differently. When we go to an event and it's time for that boring 30-second elevator pitch that you have practiced over and over, and when you say it, no one hears you because they're worried about their 30-second elevator pitch, or when you pitch it out there and you're not even landing on the... Isn't it true that you do a multiple things? I know I do. If somebody were to ask me what I do, one of the responses I would give is, well, it depends on the day, the person that I'm working with, and where I am in the world. Like, I do a lot of things, you know. But when you are giving that 30-second elevator pitch, you're so limiting yourself and putting yourself in a box of what you do. And there's so many people in that room that may have wanted what you can do with and for them, but that little 30-second elevator pitch turned them off. They didn't even hear it. So when I have an event that's months and months away, or even a couple of weeks away, whatever that is, if I've got an event and I'm out networking before that event, now I can refer to that event instead of talking about myself. This psychologically does a lot of things. Number one, I'm not giving the wah, 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 30-second elevator pitch that nobody cares about anyway. Secondly, when I'm doing an event and I talk about how that event's going to benefit that organization or those people or that situation, I'm seen as the giver. I'm seen as the helper. I'm seen as the collaborator. I'm seen as the person who's moving and shaking in the community, and not just that ego-driven person who's given their 30 seconds of fame. So it might look something like this. Back when I was doing the antique car show, I would get up in front of the room when I had no choice but to participate in the pitch, and I would say, hey guys, my name's Cammie Baker. I'm promoting an antique car show. Now the proceeds go to the Live and Let Live Farm. They rescue horses. It's a beautiful organization. So what we're looking for are people who love antique cars, people who own antique cars. As a matter of fact, it's the Hooks at Old Home Day event, so there's bands and there's vendor tables. I've got a flyer about it if you guys want to do any vending tables or any of the stuff that I just talked about, or if you just want to be a great contributor to the Live and Let Live Farm that is doing such wonderful work with these animals, please come over and see me. And that, in and of itself, I cannot tell you how many conversations I had about, I love antique cars. I used to have an antique car. My father had an antique car. I love the Live and Let Live Farm. I used to volunteer at the Live and Let Live Farm. I've adopted a house from there, a horse from there before. So the point is that it created conversation without it being about me. Without it being about me. The other thing about that antique car show, so here's the beauty of being the event when you're putting on an event that's a few months out. I had a flyer, and I would drive around with the flyer, and I could go into businesses and ask them if they would promote the car show for me. Not walking in with business cards or briefcases or looking official. I could walk in, hundreds and hundreds of people that I met this way, walking down Main Street, USA, in the town next to, or in the town that this car show was going on, walking around with 20 flyers, beautiful day, right? It's a great way to get out, enjoy the day, enjoy the sunshine, go meet some people, do some real networking. Not going for an hour and sitting in a staunchy conference room, passing out a bunch of business cards to people who are never going to call me. What a waste of time that can be. I'm out with my flyers. I'm enjoying the day. It's fun. I walk in with my flyer and I say, hey, listen, I got this flyer. Proceeds go to the Live and Let Live Farm. It's about an antique car show. Do you mind if we put it in your window? And because of that, some people, sure, put it in the window. Some people, no, can't do that. Some people, it created conversation. I'd have a nice 5 or 10 minute chit chat with those people. And I had a way of being able to follow up with them. I would ask, hey, listen, do you have a business card? What I can do next time is I can send you an email with the flyer, or I'll let you know how many people came to the car show or how much money we raised. In other words, I had a way of following up with them too. There's a whole strategy. There is a strategy in how we build our business relationships and master referrals. It is not just about spraying and praying our card, showing up at an event late, leaving early, and pretending that we did some networking. There's a strategy in it. So when we're being the event, there's all these pieces that play into it. Now, there are other events that I've done where it required, here's the idea of the event, but I don't have a venue. Now, before I even do the event, now my job or my client's job is to go out and vet venues. So we'll put together a list of 10, let's say that they or I need a venue that holds 500 people or 100 people, sit down, theater style, whatever that looks like. Now that we've got some venues that we need to go vet, now we can go and talk to the people at the venues about our event. Gives us a reason to get out and talk to people in a much more creative, fun way. And even if that very first venue, even if the very first person I talk to is absolutely perfect, I'm still going to go and talk to all 10, because the point of it isn't just to find the venue, it's to have a reason to go talk to people. And when you can back up your event, whether you're speaking or whether you're doing what I was doing for the car show, when you can have a fundraiser like a organization, the American Red Cross, the Humane Society, keep it away from religion or politics, keep it on young people, older people, animals, or veterans, and you can't lose. When you find one of those organizations that you are very passionate about, now it's win, 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 because you're putting together an event that's going to be fun. Now it's going to make money for people. Now it's going to help an organization. Now you have something to talk about that also just shows how much of a carer and giver you are. So I'll do events where I speak. When I was in New York and New Jersey, I would do events where I would be a speaker, and I would say, listen, I personally don't want any money for my speaking time. However, let's do this. Let's take $20 or $30 at the door and let's donate it to the Ronald McDonald House. Let's donate it to the American Cancer Society, or whoever that particular organizer was passionate about. Because now the organizer can get passionate about it, because now they're getting behind what it is that they are passionate about. Now people are much more likely to come to